Fox News Podcasts presents the Bret Baier Podcast, Common Ground.
There are a number of senators on the Republican side that continue to want to find common ground.
We emphasize the conflict and controversy sells, and I think that's a problem because most Americans look at Washington and see something that's broken.
Why don't we look for ways that we celebrate what this country is capable of doing?
It's amazing what you can do when you get off social media and you start talking, communicating with one another, because there is common ground.
With Fox News chief political anchor Bret Baier.
Nothing screams democracy like having a secret squad of company men pull off a hostile takeover of America's Social Security and tax information in the dead of night. That's democracy.
This is good news for the American people, and we should welcome this kind of input and oversight.
Talking there about DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency under Elon Musk. But in tonight's Common Ground segment, getting Congress to work together with the president. Joining us are New York Democratic Congressman Tom Suozzi and Pennsylvania Republican Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick. They are co-chairs of the House Problem Solvers Caucus. Thank you both for being here. You are from a district that Kamala Harris won in 2024. You are from a district that Donald Trump won in 2024. As a Democrat, you wrote this op-ed in January saying, let's try something different in how we deal with Trump. Every word he's ever spoken has been criticized, yet he just won again. People are exhausted by the endless finger-pointing, nitpicking, and daily battling for political advantage. We've talked about that. How do you see it shaping up at this point?
Well, you know, the natural inclination is that, you take a punch at me, I'm going to take a punch at you. And we've had enough of that in our country, I think, with everybody attacking each other. And it's not easy right now because the president, is doing a lot of stuff right now. It's coming at us with like a fire hose.
We will not waste a single moment in delivering on our promises to the people.
And people are concerned. They don't really know what's going on. But one of the things that Brian and I are focused on is where can we find common ground on things like immigration and the border, on the budget, on the deficits, on permitting reform, on mental health. What can we do to fight against the tide that's coming at us?
Fire who? Congressman Fitzpatrick, this concern about DOGE, specifically from Democrats, there are some Republicans too, about how this process is going. Republicans for a long time said they never wanted unelected bureaucrats to make decisions on policy and what exactly was happening. Is that happening, and is that criticism something that's real?
Well, I think two things can be true. Number one, sensitive data, taxpayer protected information will be protected. No private citizen could ever have access to that. It's already that would be a violation of current law. And
you don't think Elon Musk has access to that?
We've been told that is not true. That's the most recent information we have, that he does not have access to that. And it can also be true that career bureaucrats who have been in the government their entire lives, who are completely checked out, who do not put their names on the ballot, are making decisions in lieu of elected officials. We need a shakeup in a lot of these agencies to make sure that we're cutting out fat, cutting out redundancies, fraud, waste, and abuse.
Because waste, fraud, and abuse, Congressman, is over the top. If you go down into the weeds, there's a ton of it.
We should all be looking for efficiencies, but we really should be using the Congress as a vehicle to do that. And it shouldn't be just someone doing it on their own with 19 to 24-year-olds helping them.
Yeah, but to be fair, we're always one election away from doing the big things, cutting the big things. Congress has, when it talks about a cut, it's about cutting the increase. It's not about cutting the cut.
But we have the Constitution, and we have requirements, and the Congress is responsible for this. So listen, Elon Musk and DOGE, give us a list of the things that you think would make a lot of sense. Bring it before the Congress. And forget about the Democrats for a second. The Republicans have the presidency, they have the Senate, they have the House. Present a bill to try and make these changes, have it debated and open, and figure out how to make these changes and make these efficiencies happen.
We'll hear more after this. You on Problem Solvers have a long list of things that you want to get done together. But on immigration, can you produce something in a small package that is able to get bipartisan support?
I believe so. Tom and I went to the border together. We have a very similar view of the border. Number one, first and foremost, you have to secure the border. You have to stop the bleeding. I don't want to attend another funeral of any child dying in my district from a fentanyl overdose, which largely is coming from that southern border.
Democrats and Republicans need to stop attacking each other and find our common enemy. Who's our common enemy? Organized crime, cartels, coyotes that are exploiting people, charging them $10,000 apiece, making billions of dollars every quarter, and bringing people to our southern border, exploiting these people, and abusing our system in the process.
You know, Democrats had a problem with the tariff threat on Mexico and Canada, and yet, within 24 hours, before that was going to go into effect, both Canada and Mexico put 10,000 troops on the border. They agreed to pay all kinds of things to stop
They had
fentanyl.
both those countries had initiated plans of that type already. We need to fix the broken asylum system. If we don't fix the asylum system, if we just try and do it through reconciliation and don't fix the asylum system, which is going to require legislation, we're going to keep on seeing this problem for a long time. And we need to take the president at his word and make a deal on the Dreamers, and also do something about the 50% of farm workers in America that are probably undocumented.
But I mean, to do that in a massive package that includes taxes and everything else, which is one big, beautiful bill, that's tough to herd those cats, isn't it?
It is. It's because having one bill, and that's the House position that we're going with at the moment. The reason that they wanted that is because it makes it hard to vote against so many good things like border security when you have, for example, a lot of the New York Republicans where SALT is a main issue. Border security is a big issue in their districts as well. If we end up going down the two-bill path that the Senate wants to do, you marry up energy to pay for border security, and then you deal with the efficiency piece to pay for the tax cuts.
All right, so a few weeks in, you guys are optimistic that you can work together and get something done?
It's going to be very hard, but yes, I'm optimistic.
We are. I mean, we came into Congress together. We're both attorneys and CPAs. You mentioned that we represent swing districts. Both of us represent a district that the other party's president carried. And yet we have a solid relationship. We respect each other, and that's 90% of it, right?
And most people in Congress want to do the right thing. We've just let ourselves be intimidated by the extremes on both sides instead of trying to find that common ground in the middle where we can work together and get things done.
That's why we created this segment a long time ago. Thank you both for being here. Listen ad-free with a Fox News Podcast Plus subscription on Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Prime members can listen to this show ad-free on the Amazon Music app.